Hello, unicorns. I'm Saffron. And today's Handstands and Happiness class is going to be focused on serenity. So serenity is one of the many positive emotions, and positive psychologists have been studying positive emotions. And what they found is that positive emotions are actually more prevalent than negative emotions, but our negative emotions tend to be louder. So they capture our attention because they're meant to keep us safe. So, but when we find awareness and where we begin to recognize the positive emotions and draw our attention towards them, we begin to see how many of them there actually are within a day. So just focusing on one of them, serenity. So serenity comes from surrendering to what we cannot change. There are things in life that we can change, and there are things in life that we can't change. And so just accepting the things that we can't change, finding the courage to change the things that we can, and then tapping into that inner wisdom to notice the difference between the two. And so there's this really beautiful serenity prayer, which I'm sure you've heard. It says, God or Creator or higher power, grant me the serenity to accept the things I cannot change, the courage to change the things that I can, and the wisdom to know the difference. So today, during our handstands practice, just allowing yourself to tap in to that serenity, accepting where we're at. The cool thing about handstands is that they are changeable. We learn to align our body in a way that allows us to be able to balance a handstand eventually. It takes time, so it's like a slow change, just like any real lasting change. But it is changeable, and we can change this way that we align ourselves. So today we're going to focus on this hollow body alignment, which helps us find that really stable handstand position. So we'll just, whenever you're ready, move over to our mats and get started. We'll just start by just finding a tall seat and just closing our eyes and just finding our breath. And just noticing the natural ebb and flow of the breath. Just taking a minute to observe how your body feels, how your breath feels. Noticing how your mind feels. And as you begin to observe the mind, just notice all of the different thoughts and emotions that can be contained in it at once. Maybe you're feeling a few different feelings at the same time. And just see if you can zoom in on one of them, one of the thoughts or feelings that you're having right now. And just looking at it as if you were looking at like a cloud. Just looking at it and gazing at its form. Noticing its edges, its color, its density. And then just breathe into that feeling. And just notice if it changes. These feelings that we have Just allow yourself to notice if this feeling, if this thought is temporary or permanent. If it's changeable or unchangeable. Coming into that state of serenity. If it is unchangeable, serenity begins with acceptance. So we can accept how we're feeling. We can accept whatever emotions or thoughts that we're having. We can accept the state of the world, the unknown. And if it's changeable, serenity requires courage. So how can we find the courage to change the things that we can, that we want to change? Maybe we shift into a state of gratitude for whatever feeling or experience we're having. Or with our physical body, we can change the way we train. If we're having an injury or something else, we can change our alignment to change the way that our body feels. So just breathing into that thought or feeling or emotion, whatever's coming up for you. And just seeing if it requires acceptance, if it requires courage. And tapping into that wisdom, that third part of serenity. The wisdom to know the difference between what we can and cannot change. And so today during our practice, I want to invite us all to explore the things that we can change, the things that we cannot change, and see if we can tap into our own inner wisdom to know the difference. And then as you begin deepening your breath, starting to bring the breath into the belly, into the ribs, and all the way up into the upper part of the chest, see if you can find some lightness in the spine, some length in the spine. Maybe lifting the shoulders up into the ears, and then on your exhale, dropping them down into your back pockets. Inhale, lengthening the spine. Exhale, dropping the shoulders into the back pockets. One more big breath. See if you can inflate all the way up into the collarbones. And then exhale, drop the shoulders back and down into the back pockets. Feeling yourself arrive in your practice and taking a moment to set a personal intention. One thing that you'd like to honor. Today we're going to focus on our hollow body position because it's something that we can change. We can change how we align our body. So we're going to focus on this magnetization of the lower ribs to the hip points. So we're going to explore this hollow body pelvic tilt. So just see if you can start to find that hollow body position. You can take your thumbs onto your lower ribs and your middle finger onto your hip points. Take a big breath into your belly. Inhale. And then exhale and magnetize the lower ribs towards the hip points. So you'll feel the lower belly engage this mula bandha, this activating of the pelvic floor. And then inhale and expand. Exhale, lower ribs to the lower hip points, finding that hollow body position. Inhale. And exhale. See if you can really integrate the top of your core into the bottom of your core. Inhaling and exhaling. Keeping that activation in the front body, we'll start to warm up through the shoulder girdle. So just imagining that you're grabbing onto door handles and then twisting them open. So my palms face up towards the sky, and then I'll grab and then twist them open. So we're finding this external rotation of our shoulders. And twist, nice. And twist. And twist. Keep going, just warming up through the shoulders. And I like to move through my neck here because I can find a lot of nerve release if I like move my neck from side to side as I go through this external rotation. And if you want to add the fingers into it, you can like extend the fingers open to find that length in the median nerve. Taking the head from side to side. Getting this nerve mobility so that we can practice this really strong overhead position. Checking in with that engagement of the front body, seeing if the ribs are reaching down. Last time, we'll make our way all the way up with this nice external rotation. And then we're going to bend our elbows in front of us so that we have parallel arms. And then we're going to do more external rotation. So we're going to take the thumbs back and we're going to make circles with external rotation. So we're like doing this, and see if you can explore your shoulder range of motion. Here, so my elbows are going forward, my thumbs are going back. This is really working this external rotation. The reason why we practice external rotation is to protect our rotator cuff, because those tendons that run under the acromion process can get really injured if we're in internal rotation when we go overhead. So we're just getting our shoulders ready to stay in that external rotation as much as we can. And then when you get your arms to the top, we're just gonna take our thumbs. I think you guys can probably see me better if I come back here. Take our thumbs back and just pulse backwards. Try to keep your ribs down. Shoulders might be on fire at this moment. That's a good thing. Fire in the shoulders. Back, 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 back. See if you can find your breath right now. See if you can keep your ribs down. Strong, warm shoulders. Okay, and now add some fairy dust sprinkles. So fairy dust sprinkles, opening the hands. You can do some like creative expression with the arms. See where you can go with your arms while making fairy dust. Seeing if you can sprinkle some serenity around your room. Tapping into that serene state. And then placing the palms face up onto the knees and just finding some stillness, tapping into your breath once again. And now we'll come into a child's pose. And we'll just start to stretch into the shoulders here. So just stretching back. Bringing the forehead down onto the ground. And then slowly starting to roll yourself forward, rounding through the back. Inhaling to arch through the spine as you come forward into your cow position. And then exhale to sit the butt back and round. So you're rounding forward, magnetizing those front ribs to the pubic or to the hip points, and then rolling forward. Inhale, opening through the spine. And exhaling back. And you can let this movement be more circular. Give yourself 3 rounds to just move into whatever corners of your body need to be opened. And then bringing your weight into your hands, finding our hasta bandha, spreading the fingers wide like sunshine, pushing down into all of the knuckles, but especially the pointer finger and the thumb knuckle. And then we'll start to lift up the palms of the hand on our inhale, stretching into all the fingers. Exhale, drop the palms down. And then inhale, lift up onto the fingertips, so we're like Thing from the Addams Family. Exhale, drop them down. Inhale and lift. Exhale and drop. Inhale and lift. Exhale and drop. And then moving through these with your own breath cycle. And so you can put more weight onto the hands by bringing the shoulders more forward. So you can really start to build that strength in your grip here. This is nice because it's a stretch and a strengthener at the same time. So just seeing if you can just melt yourself into this action. Really getting that mobility and that strength in our wrists. And then walking them under the shoulders. Let's just take some circles. So just opening up the wrists a little bit more, circling our shoulders, seeing if we can keep the lower ribs magnetized. And then finding some stillness here. We'll start to warm up into the legs. So exhaling, take the right knee into your nose, kiss the knee. And then inhale and extend. So keeping the front ribs and the hip points magnetized towards one another, extend the leg so that the toes are facing down. Tap the toes on the ground. And then inhale to lift so that we're just finding that hip extension, keeping the front body in that hollow body position. Exhale, bring the knee to your nose. Inhale, extend. This time we're going to exhale and cross it over towards our left and tap. And then inhale, coming back. And exhale, knee to nose. Keeping the front body, see if you can really keep that hollow body position this whole time. Exhaling, taking the leg out over to the right this time. Tapping the ground, and then inhaling to bring it right back to center. Exhale, knee to nose. Inhale, extend. Exhale, tap. Inhale, lift. Exhale, knee to nose. All the while really focusing on that front body engagement as you move your legs. Tapping it over to the left. Inhaling it back. And exhaling it to your nose. Inhale, extend. Exhale to the right. Inhale, extend. Exhale, knee to nose. Inhale, extend. Exhale, tap. Inhale, extend. Exhale, tap to the left. Inhale, extend. Exhale, knee to nose. Inhale, extend. Exhale to the right. Inhale, extend. Exhale, knee to nose. Inhale, extend. Exhale, tap. Inhale, extend. Exhale, knee to nose. Inhale, extend. Exhale, leg to the left. This time we'll sit down over to the left, crossing our right knee behind our left knee and just start to open into our hips a little bit. So you can just start to like sink over, circle around the hips, get into the sides of the hips, get into the spine a little bit. And then inhaling, coming back into your three-legged bird dog position. Exhale, knee to nose. Inhale, extend. Exhale, take the leg out to the right, and then set it down and start to do the same thing. Make some circles here with your leg out to the side, starting to get into those hamstrings. You can like go back as far as you want. Explore your range of motion here. And then we'll take our left hand down and take our right arm up like we're painting a rainbow in the sky. And thread our right arm underneath our left, taking a twist. We'll take a few of these. So take 3 more big circles up, around, and through. And then planting your hand down, lifting this right foot out to the right side, bringing it back behind you, and then stepping yourself back so that you come into this like almost pigeon, but it's like a half hero position. So you're sitting on your right shin and your left toes are extended behind you to just open up our psoas. On your exhale, round, find this hollow body position. Turn on your right glute so you're really actively stretching your psoas. And then inhale and extend the heart forward. Exhale and round. Inhale and extend. Exhale and round. Inhale and extend. 2 more. Really noticing how it feels to have that hollow body position and how much you can find that hollow body. And then bringing both knees together, coming into a hero position. We'll do this. This is from gyrokinesis. It's a cool thing. It feels really good. So the whole thing is that same front body activation. We'll swipe our hands up our legs, finding this like pelvic tilt. Reach our hands as if we're doing a handstand on the sky. And then we'll slide our hands back down. My left hand's gonna come down, my right arm's gonna slide forward so I stretch into my shoulder. And then same thing, I'll inhale and swipe up my body, checking in with this hollow body position. Make a handstand on the sky, and then exhale and slide myself down so that my left arm comes forward, stretching into that shoulder. Inhale. And exhale. Inhale. And exhale. Inhale. We'll do 2 more. Really see how much you can find that hollow body shape here. And then inhale, reaching the hands all the way up. Exhale, bring your hands into a prayer. Take the hands behind the back and then just open the chest like you have a pillow behind your head, just opening up into the upper back. And then exhaling, flying the hands down, back onto all fours. This time taking the left knee into our nose. So the same thing, other side. Left knee to nose, round, round, round. Finding that hollow body position, keeping the hollow body position as you extend the left leg out. Tapping the left leg down, and then inhaling to lift it up, keeping the front body really engaged. Exhale, knee to nose. Inhale, extend. Exhale, tap to the right. Inhale, extend. Exhale, knee to nose. Checking in with that front body, noticing if you start to arch the back, and see if you can find that engagement in the front of the body. Exhaling to the left. Inhaling back to center. Exhaling to round, finding that engagement in the front body, keeping it to extend. Exhaling, tap to the right. Inhale back to center. Exhale, engage the front body. Inhale, straighten, exhale, tap. Inhale, extend. Exhale, knee to nose. Inhale, extend. Exhale to the left. Inhale, back to center. Exhale, knee to nose. Inhale, extend. Exhale to the right. Inhale to center. Exhale, knee to nose. Inhale, extend. Exhale, tap. Inhale, extend. Exhale, knee to nose. Inhale, extend. Exhale, leg to the left. Inhale, extend. Exhale, knee to nose. Inhale, extend. Exhale, right leg over to the left, or left leg over to the right, and then sit back into this cow face kind of stretch. You can make some circles in the hips, just opening up, doing whatever feels right. And then extending that leg right back out again. Exhale, knee to nose. Inhale, extend. Exhale, taking it over to the left. And then just exploring that left side. You can take some circles and just getting into that inner left thigh. Finding our all fours position. Then we'll take the left arm up and take a big rainbow in the sky, and then thread the left arm through under the right. Coming into a twist, and then coming back up and around. And through. Two more. And then finding our center, lifting this left leg out and bringing it back. And then walking your hands back so we're in this half hero position. This nice psoas stretch. Back toes tucked under, and then round the front body as much as you can. Nice. Yep. And you can push up onto your fingertips and round, 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 round. Get into that psoas. See if you can turn on your left glute. Really activate it. And then inhale and open the chest. Exhale and round. Inhale and open. Exhale. Finding the hollow body even in this extended position. And then slowly bring both knees together. We'll do that same thing, the swipe up the body, so swiping up the body, reaching the hands up, making a handstand on the sky, and then sliding down, right hand comes forward, stretching into the right shoulder. Inhale, swipe up the body, find that hollow front body, swipe, swipe, swipe. Inhale, handstand on the sky. Exhale, stretching into the left shoulder. Inhale, swiping up the front of the body, glutes engage, belly engages, ribs engage, handstand on the ceiling. Exhale, stretch the right side. Inhale, swiping, 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 finding this pelvic tilt. Inhale, handstand on the sky. Exhale, left shoulder stretch. Last one on each side. Inhale, swipe up the body. Really find that tilt of the pelvis. And then exhaling. toes under. Take the elbows out to the sides and then twist like you're twisting bottle caps so your elbows are back. Then straighten the arms so we have that external rotation. Then we'll push back into our bent knee downward facing dog. Seeing if we can find this hollow body position here. Keeping the external rotation of the shoulders. Yes. Pushing through the index finger and the thumb. Lifting the ribs towards the hip points. Shaking up the head, the neck, and the jaw. And then starting to straighten into the legs. You can bend into one and the other. Giving your sciatic nerve a little floss. There. Nice. And then on our walk forward, we're going to walk forward. So we're going to keep this front body position. Our right leg's going to extend, like as if we were hopping into a handstand, but we're going to keep the front body super hollow, and then we're going to take a little step forward, trying to hover the foot off the floor as much as we can. Keep the body engaged. Left leg's going to lift. Little hollow step forward. The whole time your belly is hollow, and you're lifting as much as you can off the floor. Lift. And bring to center, keeping the front body engaged the whole time. Big toes together, heels just a sliver apart. Give yourself a hug, bend your knees. You can massage your neck, release your jaw. Inhale, come up to halfway lift. Exhale, folding forward. Inhale, flying all the way up with a flat back. Lifting all the way up, hands up to the sky. Stretch. Exhale, hands to heart. Finding, I'll step back so you can see me. Finding our upside down handstand. So big toes together, heels a sliver apart. Take a minute to find that same engagement that you did before. So noticing if your pelvis is tilting this way, and then actively tilting it the opposite way. You can take your thumbs onto your ribs and your middle finger onto your hip points. Find that activation of the front body, and then hug the legs together, straighten the knees, finding this handstand position, this hollow body position. Here, nice. On your inhale, keeping this hollow body position, taking your hands into an external rotation, and then the arms come overhead. Checking in here, if you can keep your front ribs down. I think we lost Meredith for a second. So check in here, keeping your front ribs down, and then lift up onto the big toe mounds, stretching up towards the sky. Breathing, breathing, breathing. And then exhale, keeping the body long. Slowly lower down, start to bend the knees. Bend the knees, lowering into like this little chair pose. Hugging yourself into a tiny ball. Breathing here, and then really slowly lowering your butt down onto the floor, coming into your boat position. Nice. From our boat position, we will slowly lower into our hollow body position. So holding onto the knees, round through the belly, lower, 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 find your hollow body. Breathing here. We're gonna take a few rocks in our hollow body. So make sure your pubic bones, your hip points and your lower ribs are magnetized, and then we'll rock for 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and then lift one arm up for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. The other arm for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and then lift your legs all the way up and over, coming into this plow position. Breathing here. Stretching into the hamstrings. Breathing into the spine. And then on our exhale, we're gonna press. So this is like our little reverse press. Slowly slide the shins along the face. Really slowly try to pull the legs in towards the body and come down as slow as you possibly can. Bringing the feet down to set up for a bridge here. So make sure you can touch your heels like a little bit away. On our exhale, we're gonna find that pelvic tilt. So you can arch your back first. So find this big arch. And then round through the lower back, find your pelvic tilt, find your front ribs magnetizing towards your hip points, and then lift up into your bridge pose. So it might not be a very high bridge because it's a hollow body bridge. So you're super hollow here. And then we're gonna just work our pelvic control here because this is gonna help us in our handstands. If we can keep this hollow body position while we lift our right leg up towards the sky. See if you can keep this like super hollow. The hip points and the ribs are pulling towards one another. Left leg is gonna reach up towards the sky. And we're gonna kind of march it out, getting this hip stability, this front body hollow position while our legs are moving. See how stable you can keep your pelvis. You can even hold on to it to remind yourself to stay stable. And then bringing both feet down, we'll take 10 little pulses. So really find that hollow body position. And then we're gonna pulse our pelvis up towards the sky for 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and hold. Really find that hollow body. Imagine you are squeezing a block in between your knees. Front ribs knit down towards the hip points. And then slowly lower it all the way down. Taking your arms up above to stretch. And then exhale, grabbing the hands onto the knees and rock yourself up. Crossing your ankles. And then we'll rock over. And we're just gonna practice, like, so you can either practice rocking over, or you can practice pushing down and trying to lift through. Nice, nice. And then stepping your way back as slowly as you can into your plank position. Finding our hollow plank here. Awesome. So breathing here into your hollow plank, taking your shoulders and pushing the ground away. So we're gonna really hollow out our plank, pushing the ground away from us, and then we'll drop our plank down. Exhale, push the ground away from you. Inhale, dropping it down. So we're really hollowing out our body. Five more. Holding in this high plank, and then we're gonna go forward and backwards. So we're gonna planche a little bit, bringing our shoulders over our fingers, and then come back onto our heels. Exhale, planche a little bit forward. Inhale, come back. Exhale, planche. Inhale, come back. Exhale, planche, really push the ground away from you. Inhale, come back. Exhale, planche forward, and then lower down for 5. So the elbows come back towards the ribs. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Onto the belly. Untuck the toes. Hug the legs together. Try to push your pinky toenail into the ground. We're gonna make a hollow body handstand here. So first we'll just take our fingertips onto the ground, stretch our chest. So lift your shoulders up into your ears, and then bring the shoulder tips into your back pockets as you expand the chest forward, opening up through the upper back. Then take the right shoulder down as we twist to the left. Inhale. Last one on each side. And then on our exhale, we'll lower all the way down. So we've found that arch in our back. Now we're gonna find the hollow body in our back. So tuck your pubic bone into the ground. Take your hands under your belly and see if you can make this hollow belly here. So my hands are underneath my belly. My pubic bone is pushing down into the ground. So I should be touching the ground with my pubic bone, but my belly's lifted. And then either breathing here if you need your hands there, or you can take your arms overhead and pretend like you're making a handstand on the wall in front of you. Take 5 full breaths. Really squeeze the legs together, make a handstand here. Squeeze the legs, lift the lower belly, push the pubic bone down. Really magnetize those top ribs, or those lower ribs to the top hip points. And then keeping that, taking the hands under the shoulders, tucking the toes under, and pushing up as one plank, one really hollow plank, lifting all the way straight up, and then back into your downward facing dog. Breathing it out here. On your inhale, take your right leg, reaching it up towards the sky. Exhale, take your right foot and bring it outside of your right hand. So we're in this like kind of crocodile position. Just start to warm into your hip a little bit here. You can bend and straighten into that leg. Just getting that a little bit of hip mobility. And then practicing our handstand hops from here. So we're really just working on keeping the hollow body as we switch. So we're in this crocodile position on the right side. We'll push down and switch. So my hollow body stays the whole time because my legs are switching. So my left leg comes forward, and then I'm gonna hop, my right leg comes forward. See how much you can keep those front ribs and the hip points magnetized towards one another. Beautiful, and then landing with that right hand, or that right foot back towards the right side. Take a twist, the right hand comes up towards the sky, twisting open, and then bring your left knee down onto the ground. And you can just reach back here, just starting to get into that psoas. See if you can turn on this left glute. Or you can grab on, bending into the back leg, and finding this little twisted monkey pose. Getting into that psoas. You can kind of like floss in and out here, or stay here. Either one is really great, same benefits. On your exhale, your right hand's gonna come inside your right foot. You're gonna lift up and rotate into this skandasana position. Yes, beautiful. Hands can come in the middle, and you can just floss in and out here. And then taking that wide-legged forward fold, folding down as much as you can, bringing the top of the head down onto the ground, breathing here. And then we'll start to work our inversion strength here. So we're gonna make a headstand prep position. So first, finding this triangle with your forearms, interlacing your hands and bringing the top of your head into it. And we'll really just work trying to lift our head up off the ground by pushing into our arms and maybe pushing into our toes. If it's easy for you to like lift your head up off the ground and you're not rounding into your back, then you can start to lift one leg out to the side and the other leg out to the side. making sure it's not hurting your neck. So you should feel no pressure in the neck. Yes. And maybe if the legs can hover one on each side, you can start to push both out to the side and start to lift out into your straddle inversion. Maybe taking the legs all the way up overhead. See if you can find the hip points and the lower ribs, even here. Beautiful. Bring the feet down. Nice. Nice, you guys. So beautiful. So now bring the hands a little bit forward in front of your feet. Turn the heels in. We're gonna practice these frog jumps because they help us keep our, I'll turn to the side so you can see. So a lot of times what happens in handstands is we keep the arch in our back, so we go up like that. But these frog jumps, you can like bend your knees in, so it reminds you to keep this hollow position, and then you're just stacking the hips over the shoulders. So we'll do just a few frog jumps. So the knees stay into my ribs like the whole time, and my hands are forward, and then I'm hopping up like a frog. Take 5 of those. Yes, yes, Lucy. See if you can, yes, oh my gosh, so good. Maybe you can find a second to float at the top. When you get to the top, try to hug your feet towards one another, and that can sometimes bring you into float. Yes. Nice, Meredith. Okay, so just one thing about that is like, because you guys are getting really high, your hips are getting up, which is awesome, then you just have to lock it in. So you have to find the float by pushing through your shoulders and then like hugging the midline. So even if your legs are away from one another, you can hug your feet towards one another or try to hug the knees in, yeah. So if you're here, you go here and then you have to like lock into your shoulders. So push and squeeze, 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 squeeze in. So it's like an extra push. You push through your shoulders like one extra time once your butt stacks. Nice. Yes, Meredith, I saw that moment. Stack the butt and then push through the shoulders and then squeeze the knees together. Squeeze. Yes, yes, yes. That was nice. That was really nice. Good job, you guys. Okay, take a rest from that. And then we'll just walk ourselves back towards the right foot, pulling it back into our downward facing dog. Inhaling to roll ourselves forward into that really high plank. Exhale, lowering down for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Inhale, opening up the chest. And then exhale and finding that hollow body handstand, the belly handstand. So the pubic bone pushes down to the ground, the lower belly lifts. Arm bones stretch long, squeeze the legs together. Breathe for 5 breaths. See if you can find that serenity, even in this really challenging place. And then inhaling the hands under the shoulders. Exhaling, keeping the hollow body, pushing all the way up and back into your downward facing dog. Inhale, the left leg reaches up towards the sky. Exhale, left foot comes outside of left hand. Crocodile. Stretching it out here. And then we'll practice those hops. So it's the same thing, it's that really hollow body. You're pushing the upper back to switch the legs. So push through the upper back, yep. Magnetize the front ribs towards your hip points. Landing on your left side, sinking in to the hips, taking a big rainbow in the sky, taking the left hand back towards the right foot, and then either staying here, or you can bend into that back knee and stretch into your psoas. Monkey lunge. Love this one. Sometimes in this one I try to even find that hip point to the lower rib engagement, even here, to just really get into the psoas more. And then exhale and release. Taking the left hand inside of the left foot, and then rotate into your skandasana. Flossing through the hips from side to side. And then finding that wide-legged forward fold. Placing the hands in the middle of the mat. Rounding through the upper body, pushing your weight forward into your hands. And then just either holding here in this hollow body position, or you can try to just levitate your feet to the center. Try to just push so much into your hands, yes, that your feet float. And then we're gonna do the same thing. So we're just gonna go out and in for 5 more rounds. So we're gonna go forward, try to push the weight into our hands, and then go out. Just as if you need a little hop, do a little hop, but see how much you can use just that shoulder, that front body activation to hover your legs. See, you can breathe. Going for 2 more. Really see how much rounding you can get in the front body, that really hollow body position. Beautiful. And then staying here, let's bring our feet together actually. So I'll show you from the side. My feet are together, my hands are forward. Then I'm going to walk my hands a little bit more forward, and I'm going to practice those same jumps, but we'll do it from like a lunge position. So I'm not actually in a lunge, I'm in like a warrior 3. So from this warrior 3 position, this knee is going to stay at my ribs. I'm just going to stay here, and I'm going to push my weight, so I can lean my weight back, and then push my weight forward as I keep my hip position. So I'm not letting this leg go out like this, I'm keeping it really nice and straight. And this is keeping my front hollow body. This left leg is keeping my front body hollow. And then I'm pushing forward and trying to keep this left leg down. Nice. Nice, Meredith. Yeah! Same thing when you get to the top. See if you can push through your shoulders to lock in. Nice, Lucy. That looks amazing. The little extra push with the shoulders at the top really helps. So push. And taking 1 more. Seeing if you can find that locked in position. And then coming back into your forward fold. Taking a breath and a break, giving yourself a massage. We've got a whole other leg to do for that one. So taking your left leg up this time, this right knee is going to bend into our right ribs so that we're nice and hollow in the front of our body. This leg never moves. It keeps that nice position because you're already perfectly aligned in your left leg. Then you're just going to rock back and then push your weight forward into your hands, letting your right leg keep that hollow position in the front of your body. Nice, ladies. Yes. One more. When you get to the top, push, push, push. Push through your shoulders. Try to get as long as you can. Yes, Lucy. So epic. And then rest. Taking a big breath, forward fold. So we're still aligned this way on our mats. Then we can hop our legs out once again, turn ourselves back towards the left leg, and then pull this left leg all the way back into our downward facing dog. Taking a big breath into our downward facing dog. Exhale, coming forward into our high plank position, really hollow body plank. Lowering down for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Inhale, bird. Expand through the chest. And exhale, your belly handstand. So finding your belly handstand. Pubic bone pushes into the ground, lower belly lifts, legs squeeze together. Squeeze, squeeze, squeeze. And then pushing yourself all the way back up into your plank. Walking your feet all the way forward. And then sitting back onto your butt. I have 2 drills for us today. One in facing 2 different directions on the wall. So this is like a prep for it. So we'll come back up into that bridge. And basically, it's about keeping your pelvis engaged as you come off the wall. So sometimes this can help you balance. So rolling up, first finding that arch, and then finding this like really hollow position. So when we do this on the wall, this is gonna be our wall where the ground is now. Then I'm gonna keep my hips stable as I extend my right leg in front. So I'm in a handstand position, and then switching. So you can hold your hips, and we're just gonna extend the leg out and back down. So we'll do like 10 of these here, and then we'll try it on the wall. See if you can really keep the front ribs and the hip points magnetized towards one another. So really closing off the front body. Relax. So this next exercise is all about keeping the ribs engaged and not letting them flare when we're in our handstands. The rib flare can come from having really tight lats. So the lats attach from your lower arm all the way onto the back of your pelvis. And so they'll create this like tightness here, which makes tight shoulders, and it also makes the rib flare happen. So this is an exercise to stretch your lats, and it also will help you keep that hollow front body position. So you'll need a wall for this exercise. Just coming over to the wall, we will go facing towards the wall. So you can bring your feet to the wall in this little like downward dog position, and then take one foot up the wall and start to walk back. Hands will walk back. Options for this. You can either just straighten the legs and work on pulling in the front of your body. So I'm not letting my ribs flare. I'm really just trying to push in and resist that rib flare. Still keeping my arm bones externally rotated. So I'm not rolling my shoulders in, I'm rolling them away from one another and pushing into the ground and just working on pulling my ribs back. The second level of this is to take your feet out like this into this little child's pose, wide child's pose, and then hug them into this little tuck. And you can go out and in. Really just pulling. To make this more challenging, you can walk the hands in even more, and then pull into the ribs and away. You can also have like a nice hold. I would recommend also playing with holding that for 30 seconds to a minute. Just really is nice for shoulder mobility, but always don't push into any pain. And if you're afraid of falling this way, just don't go in so deep because it's not worth falling out of, and eventually you'll get there. So just take your time, take little baby steps, and just work on getting that mobility and that strength. Okay, so this next exercise requires a wall. It is very focused on holding our pelvic tilt. So the same way that we do a bridge on the ground, you can either make a bridge without engaging your glutes, which would look like this from the side. See, my glutes are unengaged, my belly is relaxed, or I can find the pelvic tilt, so that front rib magnetizing towards the hip points, finding this pelvic tilt. This is the position that we want to make our body into, and so we're going to do this at the wall. So we'll come over to our wall, and we will take about 2 handprints away from the wall so that we have enough room for our feet. And we'll kick our legs up towards the wall in whatever way works. And then we'll find our bridge position at the wall. So we're here in a bridge, finding our pelvic tilt, squeezing our legs in towards one another, and then I'll take one leg to extend, squeezing the glutes, and the other leg will extend. And I'll hold, squeezing, 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 and if I fall backwards, that's fine. You can always come right back up. Really not letting this happen. Keeping this posterior tilt, the front ribs and the lower hip points engaged towards one another so that you can balance here. So go ahead and practice about 2 to 5 of those on each side. Really just focusing on that pelvic tilt. That controlling what we can control. And then we'll come back to our mats for some rest. So for our warm down, we will just do some front body opening. Since we've done so much hollow body, we'll just do a little bit of front body opening. So we'll start out just seated in a hero's pose, taking a big breath in, and just starting to slow down. Letting out any energy out the mouth. And then we'll just gently start to roll our shoulders back behind us. So just opening through the chest, letting the back arch this time, and just rounding back, rounding forward, and just taking some big circles. Opening through the chest, letting go of that hollow body position, and then interlacing the hands at the sacrum and stretching open the chest. You can take your ear from side to side, just open up into the neck, taking some head circles. And then we will rock off over to our left side. So my hips are going to come over to the left, I'll bring my left foot forward so that I'm coming into this Z position. Just starting to open into the hips, taking a big breath in. And exhale, first level is I'll just roll towards my knees. I'll just walk down, just starting to open into the outer hip there. And you can take a few little like wavy movements of the spine to open up the outer hip. If you can't feel this in your hip and you want more, you can roll yourself towards the center of your leg, really keeping this foot flexed so that it's really moving through the hip and not the knee. And then you can fold down towards the middle of the legs. Same thing, wavy spine, or if you feel like finding stillness, that's always an option. And then inhaling, taking this left arm up and back. You can reach it back onto this right leg, finding a twist. Taking an inhale. If it doesn't reach all the way around, you can just take it behind your back and then just push into this right hand. Inhale to lengthen the spine and exhale to twist back. Inhale to lengthen and exhale to twist back. Inhaling to lengthen and exhaling to twist back. From here, you can take your right leg and we're gonna bring it around to cross on top of the left leg, finding this cow face pose. Inhaling here to lengthen. So if you're here, that's also fine. If you're here, that's also fine. It's all about just where you feel it in the hips, and you can always elevate your hips onto blocks to make it a little bit easier. But wherever you are, just taking a big breath in, lengthening the spine. This is an awesome hip stretch. Just lengthening the spine is actively stretching your hips, getting into your active flexibility, which is awesome. You can find that straight spine, and actually to keep it straight, we'll inhale, lift our hands up towards the sky. Exhale, interlace them behind our back so that we're really keeping this straight spine. And then we'll just pulse in and out of our hips. So inhaling and exhaling. I'm keeping my feet really nice and flexed because I really want this to come from my hips and not my knees. We don't really need to stretch into our knees, but our hips usually get a little bit tight. So keeping the feet flexed will protect our knees. And once you've found that, go ahead and just release the grip and allow yourself to round over your legs, finding a little bit deeper of a hip stretch. And maybe you don't come all the way down like this. You don't need to. It's just as long as you feel a stretch in your hips, you're getting all the benefits of this same stretch. On your inhale, coming all the way back up. And then on our exhale, you can either just cross the legs so that the other one's on top, or you can keep the feet where they are. This is a fun transition. I'll take both of my hands over to the left. Then I'll keep my feet where they are. I'll lean over into the left. Push, push, push. Keep my feet where they are. I'm just walking my hands now over towards my right leg and then sitting down onto the other side. So I'm in my cow face pose on the other side. Finding whatever position you were in, inhaling, reaching the hands up towards the sky. Exhaling, interlacing them at the back. Opening through the chest. And then exhaling to fold forward. And back up. Flossing into that other hip. On your inhale, reaching the hands all the way up, and then exhale, walking them in front and allowing your spine to round this time. Just coming into your fullest expression, wherever that may be. If you're not all the way down, you will be eventually. So just breathe into wherever you feel the sensation in your hip. And just try to relax into whatever you're feeling. Just noticing the feeling. Noticing its temporary nature. How all of the feelings come and they go. And just tapping into your breath. Allowing the breath to help the sensations move along. On your inhale, slowly coming all the way up, walking the hands back. And then we'll take that Z pose on the other side. So the right leg's in front, the left leg's back. Feet are really active to protect our knees. Taking an inhale, first level as I turn towards my right knee, and just folding in and over. You can take a few waves in the spine to just warm into that hip. See if you can turn on your breath. And you can either fold into that side, or if you did on the other side, you can go towards the center, towards the foot. It'll be a little bit different stretch and maybe a little bit deeper. So you get to choose where you want to go. Go where feels right for your body. We want to always be really kind to our hips and just move into them slowly. They take a while to open up, so just being gentle and kind with yourself. On your inhale, slowly coming all the way up. And then we'll just lie down onto our belly. So we'll open up through our chest and our upper back and release our neck a little bit here. So just folding down onto your belly. First thing is we'll just take some shoulder rolls. So coming up onto your fingers, rolling the shoulders up into the ears, and then exhaling to open up the upper back. Keep the lower back nice and long. We don't want to arch through our lower back. We're trying to just open up the upper back. And then rolling it down one vertebrae at a time. Inhale, lifting. And exhaling to lower. Inhaling to lift. And exhale to lower. Now we'll flow from side to side. So inhale to lift, and then the right shoulder will come down. Inhale to lift. The left shoulder will come down. Inhale to lift. Right shoulder. Inhale to lift. Left shoulder. Inhale to lift, and then taking the hands out to the sides. Thumbs facing up, opening through the chest, and then coming all the way down. Taking your hands out to the sides. And then first we will just warm up the upper back muscle. So a lot of times we'll have like some tightness in our chest, and we'll feel the pain in our upper back. So we'll actually activate the upper back muscles to get them to release the chest muscles to hopefully alleviate some pain in the upper back. So taking your thumbs up towards the sky, you can relax your forehead down, and we're just gonna lift the thumbs up towards the sky as much as we can. For 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And then we'll make these cactus arms. And we're gonna work some external rotation because that can also relieve pain in the chest and the upper back. So forehead comes down, and then opening into that external rotation and down. Opening the elbows down The hands lift up. And when you've done about 10 of those, we can keep our hands where they are. We're gonna roll over, so keep our right hand right where it is. My left hand's gonna come under my left shoulder, and I'm gonna open up into my right pec by rolling my hips over to the right. So I started here, and I'm like rolling the pressure into my right shoulder. So be really gentle here. If it's too much, back off. If you want more, you can stack this left shoulder on top of this right shoulder, maybe even lifting open to open the chest. And you could even like stretch into the shoulders here. Do whatever feels right. I like to stretch up and down. Can even come into a little psoas stretch here, opening up through the front of the body, stretching into the leg. Wherever you are, hold for 5 breaths. And then slowly lowering all the way down. Switching over to the other side. So my left hand's gonna stay down. I'm gonna push and roll over so that I'm opening into that left pec, the left side of my chest. And then you can choose if you wanna take your arm all the way up. Just be gentle on yourself. And you can floss through your chest here. You can even take that leg variation, stretching into the front of the hip, and wherever you are, just find 5 breaths there. And then slowly releasing out of that. And then making your way all the way onto your back. Finding a nice long spine. Finding that hollow body position once again to just check back in with it. And then just letting that go as you start to breathe into your belly. You can rock the knees from side to side. And then just lifting the upper back and setting it back down to the ground so that the chest is really open, taking the hands out to the sides. And then lifting up to just stretch into the back of the neck. And then rolling yourself down 1 vertebrae at a time. So you have this really long spine. letting the knees flop out to the side, taking a big breath in, and then extending the legs out, curling in the fingers and the toes, and taking some circles in the wrists and the ankles. So just get into those nerve endings. You can take your hands behind your neck and just give yourself a really nice little stretch here. And then setting your long neck back down onto the mat as you just start to relax into your body, deepening your breath. Coming into this progressive relaxation, starting with the toes. Just relaxing all of your toes. Relaxing the spaces between the toes. The arches and the heels of the feet. Breathing into your shins and your calves. Taking a big breath into your knees and your hips. Taking a big breath into your lower belly. Expanding through the lower back, the middle back, and the upper back on your inhale. And then just open your mouth and exhale as you soften all of the muscles in the torso. Taking 2 more big breaths, filling from the lower belly to the middle of the belly, all the way to the upper cavity of the chest, the biggest breath you've taken all day. Open the mouth, exhale. And then taking 1 more really big breath, starting from the lower belly, expanding through the ribs, letting the breath inflate all the way into the chest. When you get to the top, take in another sip of air. And then take in even another sip of air. Pushing the shoulders into the mat, taking even another sip of air as you expand the chest, expand the neck, make some space in the upper body. And then open the mouth and just let everything go. Letting your arms be heavy. Making fists with the hands and then just relaxing the fingers and the palms. Breathing the breath down through the arm bones and all the way up into the neck. Taking a little pause in your neck and just breathing the breath through every single one of your neck vertebrae. Feeling where the neck connects to the skull. Just relaxing the jaw as you relax that space, that first vertebrae of the neck. You can rock your head from side to side. And then just allow the head to find softness and relaxation. And relaxing into the mouth, the tongue, the cheeks, the eyes. Breathing a breath into your eyes. Letting the eyes relax as the forehead relaxes. Breathing a breath into your skull. Feeling your entire scalp relax. Finding a nice length in the spine. And then breathing a big breath all the way down into your brain. Relaxing that big muscle that thinks all day long. Thinks like 50,000 thoughts every single day. Just let that muscle have a little bit of a break. Letting it soften as you soften the thoughts. See if you can just dive into this moment, this quietness, focusing on the sound of my voice. As you let the thoughts drift past and soften. Sinking into that quiet space between the thoughts. That serenity. That surrender to the present moment. Acceptance of what is. Just allow yourself this time to integrate all of those new pathways, that new muscle memory. Allow yourself to soften and relax. Take your time here, stay here as long as you want. And when you wake up, go ahead and wake up really nice and slow. Thanking yourself for all of the hard work that you've done during this practice. Hope that you have a wonderful rest of your day. Namaste.